Hello everyone, this is my first foray into this whole live streaming stuff, so we'll see how that goes. Today I'm just going to go over this project I've been working on. I did say I wanted to make a video on it, so here I go. Hopefully there'll be future updates with more additions, more features, more things that I'm going to be adding in. But for now, I think what I'll do is I'll just give a brief run. I'll show you what I've actually got going on, and then I'll briefly discuss some of the stuff that I've got around that. So to begin with, this is the project, and well, it's very basic right now. Okay, so it's literally just this map with various constituencies you can click on, and you can sort through all the different constituencies. There's a lot of constituencies. You can select various counties, and you can also select party, which I do like to do because it looks very cool. Now, there's all sorts of features going on behind here, and some of you who maybe are up to date will probably notice that it seems a lot of the parties for each constituency are not actually valid and not accurate. Like I'm pretty sure some of the Liberal Democrat constituencies have changed. And I'll explain why that is in just a moment. But to start with, what is this all about? So, this all came about when I was, obviously I'm pro-Brexit, and I kept seeing everyone talking about how the members of Parliament don't represent us. They've got their own idea. They're all very pro-Remain and all that. And then I started thinking, well, what if I could gather all the data and actually find out how many MPs actually represent the constituencies on this issue, on Brexit. And I thought it'd be good to kind of put that on some visual, which is why I came up with this map. So what this whole project will be, when it is finished, is it will be a map that shows each constituency with each elected representative, their party, and whether or not they represent, what the stance of the constituencies and what the stance of the member of parliament is. And so what that would mean is that you can actually get a detailed idea of which members of parliament represent their constituencies, where in the country they represent them. So you might find out that more MPs in the north are better, or even worse, who knows. That's what the whole point of this is. And it's proven to be a pretty interesting project, really, because there's many ways to gather all sorts of data. I may go a bit technical later on, but for now I just want to show what one thing that actually reinforces that I came across this article here. Now, off the bat, you can see, okay, well, that's quite interesting. And as we find out, there's more than 400 MPs were at odds with their constituencies over Brexit. So I'm obviously going to have to try and look at the data on this article. And this article kind of covers it. So it kind of does what my whole app already wants to do, although in a less easy to find out way. So there's a lot of information there. Now, I considered using that, but what I ended up realizing is that it's not just Brexit that's interesting, so all that I'm concerned about. It's in general, because obviously MPs might be slighted on certain topics, but what about things like, this is more of a national thing really, but abortion could be one thing. Various policing policies, because maybe there's plenty of constituencies where they think, oh, we should be lessening the amount of police control or police presence, and then the MPs saying, no, we need to increase it. So I want to get that kind of data, although that would be a lot more difficult because Brexit, we've actually got specific polling information, and obviously general elections, it's easy to see the results of those. And so I have to figure out how I'm going to do that, but ideally I'd like this application to be able to show more than just Brexit. Now, when I was trying to find out how do I gather all this information, how do I actually, gather all this data? As you can see, I've got all this data here. So for the technical minded, and for anyone who's interested in statistics and data on government matters and national matters, I've discovered some very interesting resources. So the first one is the Office for National Statistics, which, yes, collects a whole lot of data, which you can go through their data sets as a spreadsheet, but they've got some other pieces of data, such as, if I can find it here. Here you go. So they've got this whole thing here where it's geography linked data. And they have got so much information. It's unbelievable. I was just looking here for I can't even see it now. The Westminster parliamentary constituencies. So I had to gather that data for England, North Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. But you get all sorts of other information here. You get enterprise zones, national cancer vanguards, national parks, primary urban areas, police force areas, cancer registries, London boroughs, unitary authorities. There is a lot of information here, and it's all assigned to specific geographical locations. Now, initially, I didn't use the Office of National Statistics. I was using a pre-created what's called GeoJSON. It's a sort of way of storing locational data and basically geographical data in a easy to read format. And I was using that, and then I came across this whole thing here, and I thought that's much better. I'm going to use that. But as an example of the kind of stuff that you can actually get, if you go here onto Westminster parliamentary constituencies, let's go Bath. Now it's got that geographical data, but it's got more than just that. Okay, you can get data on the hectareage of the whole land, and they got this. It's more information than you really need, but it's absolutely insane how much data that they've got here. Because they've got land. Okay, so land hectareage there, extent of realm hectareage, and then one piece of data that became useful later on was ended. It's called the ended date. Because I found out that there's a lot of constituencies I was getting more than the 950 constituencies I was expecting. I was really confused. And then I realized, okay, of course, some constituencies have been made redundant, but they've still got that data in here. Now, the second piece of data I needed in order to tie this all together was, I've called it the Parliament API, but really it's this thing here called it's data.parliament.uk, and they've got a lot of information as well, mostly election information. Now, as I said earlier, you may have noticed that some of the parties don't seem to actually have the correct constituency assigned to them, and even some of the constituencies don't even have the correct elected member. Now, the reason for that is because when I created this app, all I did was I gathered data from the general election, the 2015 general election. And of course, there's a lot of information. And as I discovered later on, I just realized, of course, there's all the by-elections in between. So one of the goals I've actually set up for this project is I need to be able to get it to update not just the general election, but by-election information as well. And you may notice as well that Ireland, only the part of Ireland that's in the UK is actually visible. Now, that's problematic for me, and I would actually like to show the rest of Ireland, even if you can't do anything with it, just have it there visually. So that's something that needs to be done as well. And eventually, I hope to get multiple issues there, so not just Brexit, but you have the ability to view data on different issues and concerns. Maybe this can gather some polling and census data and tie that to different constituencies, but we'll see about that. So yeah, these APIs are very useful, and if ever you are looking for some sort of way to gather various data, there is very useful information here. This is over here. It's the by-election information, which of course is a lot. Now, if I go here to the general election, you can actually go view other information about that election, and it honestly, it gets incredibly insane, because then you can go view not just the election, but the election results. And then through the election results, you can go find the members of parliament. And through the members of parliament, you can go find information of that member of parliament, such as Diane Abbott's middle name and Vince Cable's real name, and things like that. So there's some very interesting information there, and it's definitely worth taking a look at, looking into these data sets. If ever you're interested in sort of gathering information about different matters going on nationally, it's definitely worth it. I'm going to be seeing what else I can use with this data. Now, to go very technical, for anyone who is listening who is who's a developer or interested in development, I'm currently running this application on a few pieces of software. Now, the server-side database handling is done through Laravel and MySQL. So that's just a basic PHP application. All it does is handle a lot of the updates and viewing and rendering the app's data onto the front end. And then I've got a AngularJS and Redux being used to generate the app itself, the JavaScript app. And I've made use of D3JS, which stands for Data-Driven Documents. And I'm using that to generate the map. So all I feed in tons of latitude and longitude coordinates for every single constituency. So that's a lot. And if I actually zoom in here, we'll see how this works out for us. So if I zoom in here, you'll notice that those drop-down menus look horrible, but you'll also notice that the quality of the map does not go down. The reason for that is because this is not a picture. This here is a raw visual shape actually being drawn onto the browser screen, which is becoming commonplace nowadays. You've probably seen it on just about every site, but it's very useful. It's very useful because it's a lot faster than trying to load a massive, huge, like 9,000 pixel image. So yeah, I'm using D3JS, which can be used to basically, I could take that same geographical data and I could extrapolate it into different spreadsheets. If you've heard of humanprogress.org, I'm willing to bet that they're using D3JS for a lot of their graph generations, or they're using high charts or something like that. But yeah, that's just to give you an idea of the sort of technology that I'm using. If you have any technical information, or you're a developer and you have a better idea for some of the software I might be able to use instead of D3JS or AngularJS, do let me know. This is a very simple app currently, and so it's really easy to rework. But later on, I'm not going to consider that because, yeah, once the app's built up, it's not worth migrating it without a really good reason. One such reason I might actually consider is getting rid of Axios. It's a API handling library that they've entered into the contributor covenant, which is a abhorrent and disgusting document that basically brings social justice into coding, which doesn't make sense. So yeah, so I'm going to keep working on this application, but I just wanted to basically give an introduction on it, make people aware that I'm working on this, and if anyone's got any ideas for other things I might be able to do with the project, I'm really open to new ideas, because there's a lot that could be done here, and there's a lot of potential, and I'm always excited about what technology can use and how technology can help us to sort of analyze and just spread knowledge, make us more aware of things, make things easier, and just generally make our lives easier. But my main goals are always to make lives easier, and also to, well, when I say spread knowledge, just make it easy for people to find things out. Gathering data in one place, that kind of thing. So yeah, the goals I've set, and hopefully we'll have done in the next update, will be to show the rest of Ireland, and to include the by-election information, which would be very useful. And eventually, I'd like to include other issues besides Brexit. But first, I want to get the Brexit data in there as well. Now, I do have a question for you, and this is how I'm going to finish here. Okay, so I've got a question, because this is honestly one I'm not too sure on the answer. But just on this whole topic here, where I'm saying that MPs don't represent their constituencies, it leads me to wonder a question, which is, are MPs, are they supposed to represent their voters as in the people who actually voted for them, not the people who didn't, or which I would think that's not the case. Are they supposed to represent their parties and do as their parties wish? Or are they supposed to represent their constituencies? Because here's the thing, right? Now, I could say they're supposed to represent their parties only on the factor of them, the fact that they would have campaigned on specific policies that line up with their party. But quite often we see people campaign on one policy and change it as the party changes. And I have a problem with that because the constituency did not vote for that MP. Actually, no. If I'm being honest, they probably did vote for the MP based on the party. But surely, if the constituencies, the people in the constituency, they're part of the focuses and worries and concerns and their goals change, that MP should change their views and policy regardless of the party, because they're there to represent their constituency. That's my opinion. But it really depends on our political system, because there could be, I think there's a case to be made for the second two, which is they represent their party or their constituency. Those are the two I'd probably guess is the right ones. But which one is right, I don't know. Anyway, so this is representation map, or rep map as I've been calling it. And hopefully I'll have some more updates, but I'm definitely eager to hear what people think of it and whether or not there's any improvements they'd suggest. And please, if anyone has the skills to help me in any way, either by analyzing data, by helping develop the app, or just anything else that as features go on that might need help with, please do get in touch, because I really could do with the help. Currently I'm just working on this on my own, and I'm looking to try and get more hands involved, because I've got many other ideas and I want to hear ideas that other people have, because we kind of need to work together and build these tools and libraries, or whatever you want to call them. Anyway, so that's this update from me. Till the next update, hopefully I'll have more content and features to show you then. Till then.